This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, perfect. So happy Friday Eve, everyone. We are almost there. Today's training is just going to be going over the introduction of your KVCORE platform. Jerry just let me know that we have been, you guys were just introduced to this platform today. So this is going to be very new for you. So don't worry, we do have another training scheduled into your calendar already. So I am going to be jumping back and forth from my demo account to your actual account because I want to have you guys understand what your smart number is, what you guys see versus what you see on my demo account. So before I get started, there's just a couple areas on this dashboard that I want to point out to you. So on the bottom left-hand corner here, you're going to see the Learning Portal. Now this Learning Portal will open up a new tab, so let me click on that. And it will take you to a list of free courses that I do recommend you taking in between our trainings. So after today's call, go ahead and jump into the KVCORE platform, which is already pre-selected, and work on this Core Quick Start. This Core Quick Start is going to be a item that you need to complete before our next marketing training. Now this Core Quick Start, it won't take long, maybe at most 15 minutes. It's just going to make sure that you have your profile set up, you know how to change your password, make modifications to your actual settings, and helping you navigate within KVCORE. The next course is here is for your lenders. You have a lender on the system, and then you can also take a course to show you how to make changes to the look and feel of your website. So everyone does have a templated site, so there are restrictions. This is just going to help you, make change like the basic changes. Now on the bottom right-hand corner is our chat bubble. This will connect you to our tech support team. So if you have any questions, concerns, or you just need an immediate answer to anything, then you could reach out to our tech support team using this chat bubble here. They are open Monday through Friday between 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific time. So if you ask a question or if you want to start a conversation outside of office hours, they will respond back to you on the next business day. So let me jump back into your dashboard, what you guys see. So currently right now, I am on Jerry's account. What I want to focus on right now is in the dashboard, your company announcements. This is where your admins, such as Jerry, is going to be adding any important announcements for you guys to be aware of. I've added announcements in here for you already, which is today's training. I've also added our next training, so Thursday the 27th at 4 p.m. Now, the next slide here is just letting you know that you need to complete these items before our marketing training, which is next week. So make sure that you complete these. I will be going over these items, and I'll be telling you, which ones you have to complete throughout today's call, which is the first one under your learning portal. Complete that Core Quick Start. That's item number 1. Now, the next slide is just asking to join our Facebook group. This is a Facebook group or a private group. And once you're in, you'll have the ability to ask questions, ask for tips and advice for the whole KVCORE platform. And then I also added resource links in here for you guys. So these resource links is going to be found under the My Business tab. So once I open up My Business, it's going to be found towards the bottom middle underneath Company Cloud. I've added a Success Strategies. This is a separate Facebook group that I recommend you joining. It only goes over marketing strategies. Below that will be a success plan that I want you guys to start implementing. Now this is a 4-week plan that you can use as is, or maybe you can modify it depending on how you want to run your business. But this is what you guys can start using. So start implementing it. Again, you do have the ability to adjust it depending on how you want to adjust it. So you guys should start working on week number 1. And then we have our success webinars. We actually host webinars every Wednesdays at 11 a.m. It is about an hour. So if you are available, go ahead and register. And For anyone that is not able to join and they've registered, we do upload those onto our Facebook groups as well. That's why you should join our groups. And the last link here is just our Facebook group that I added into your company announcements. So let's go ahead and dive into your dashboard right now. So what we're looking at, as soon as you log in, will be your activity dashboard. You'll have the ability to, You'll have the ability to see all of your leads activities. That includes them going onto your website, viewing properties, favoriting properties. Maybe leads are exhibiting hot behaviors. We will be going over hot behaviors today in the Marketing Autopilot tab. As well as any leads that respond back to emails and text messages. So you do have the ability to email, call, and text your lead right from this dashboard. And then on the top, you can also filter it out. Maybe you just only want to see your new leads or messages or leads that are exhibiting hot behaviors or anyone that's viewed properties. Now let's go over to your calls and tasks. So Jerry does not have any calls, so I'm going to jump over to my demo one and show you what this does. So every day, our system will generate a certain number of calls and tasks for you to complete. So it is going to vary depending on how many campaigns you have running, as well as your leads activity. So when you log in and you see you have a call, it will let you know who your contact is, the details of that call, and then you can snooze it if you can't complete it, so it gets pushed out by one day. Or if you're ready to call that lead, you can go ahead and hit call. Now, before you call your lead, you should always check out their profile. So I'm going to pull up Harry's profile. And what you should check first is their summary. Their summary is going to tell you what type of property that they're searching for. Now, if they haven't viewed any properties on your site, this will not have any summary. So this will just say no information. After you reviewed the summary, go ahead and open up the Talking Points tab, which is right below. And these talking points is what you should use to open up that conversation or open up that engagement. You can also use this as a guideline or reference when you are when you have a call to reach out to your lead. So once you review the summary and talking points, go ahead and call your lead. So hit call and hit call again. Now, once you hit call for the second time, your smart number will call you first prior to calling your lead. So let me jump back into Jerry's account. So your smart number is found here on the upper right-hand corner. When you click on your email, you'll see that 818 number. So this number is going to appear when you get a new lead notification or when you initiate a phone call. So our system will call you first. You answer
Jenny,
this phone.
That one's my personal one. There's also the other one for the office.
Okay. So I think you sent me an email about your billing. I'm not. So I'm going to check on your number billing. You're on your smart numbers for that.
Yeah, if you go to the phone, you could see the one that's for the office and then the one that's just for me, which is for me is the 483-6550, and then the other one's like a 5-something number. That one.
So let me make this big for everyone. So everyone's smart number is the 818 number, 532-5802. So when you call your lead or text your lead, this number is going to appear on the caller ID. So it's not going to be your actual cell phone. This is so our system is allowing our system will allow our system to log that engagement into that lead's profile. So if your leads call or text back at that number, since that lead is registered in your account, that lead's phone call or text will be routed straight to you. So you never have to worry that your lead will be going to another agent. So let me now jump back into my demo account. So let me jump back here. So when you hit call for the second time, it will start calling you. Once you answer, it will then call your lead. Now, once it starts ringing to your lead, it'll take you to this call log where you're going to enter in all of your notes. So it could be notes saying you maybe left a voicemail, maybe the lead told you about a property that they're interested in. You're going to add all of those notes in there, and then you're going to tell our system whether you marked it as, whether you've spoken with them or you left a voicemail. Now, let me jump back into Jerry's account and show you what that does. So anytime you attempt to call a lead or text a lead, our system is going to adjust those talking points. So remember those talking points I showed you earlier? So in here, these talking points will start adjusting because our system sees that you're engaging with them. Depending on how successful you were able to connect with them, these talking points will start changing. So when you mark it as contacted or home, the talking points will adjust. If you mark it as bad number, our system will delete the number from that lead's profile. So only mark it as a bad number if you know it's an invalid number. And once you've marked it, then it will remove this call from your list, and you can work on the next. Now let's just say, you don't complete your calls for the day. At the end, it will be added into your past due. You should not have your past due build up. That's because if you do build up your past due, our system will see you as an inactive agent. So it will just stop generating it for you. Also, if you want to be eligible to receive company leads, you are required to complete your calls and tasks. So let's say, you have 4 calls that are due today, but you're slammed. You have a lot of things going on and you can't complete it. So instead of putting it into your past due, snooze it. Snoozing it will get added into your upcoming, and it doesn't negatively affect you. It just gets pushed out by 1 day, so it will now be due tomorrow. So now let me jump into Jerry's account. Now that I went over calls, let me show you what you can do with tasks. So for tasks, very similar to calls. It will let you know who your contact is, the details of that task, and then you can snooze it, meaning pushing it out by 1 day, or you can mark it as done once completed. Now, for this instance, tasks usually consist of sending a text or checking in with them. You'll notice all of them is sending a text message. So let's pull up Andy's profile, and what you should always check first is their summary. So for this instance, he hasn't come back to the site, so he hasn't viewed any properties. So there's no information that we can pull here. So we're going to open up the Talking Points tab. And what agents do is when they have a task to send them a text message, they pretty much copy the talking points and send them a text through here. That easy. So you can adjust it, to make it, personalize it to your own style. And once you've done that, go ahead and send that text. And then you can mark that done from your list. Next one is checking in with them. So let's just use Joshua as an example. Let's say this task says we need to check in. So you're going to pull up Joshua's profile and make sure that he has a search alert and campaign running. So for this instance, he does not have a search alert. Search alerts are listing email alerts. So what we're going to do is check out their summary. If he has no information on here, we don't have any data to create search alerts. So instead, we are going to use a hot market area. So we're going to open up the alerts tab found on the top and create one for him. The only requirements is making sure you add in a city and a price range. Everything else is optional. Now, when you get down to the frequency section, it is preset to weekly. Top agents use daily or twice a week. You can also CC another email. So maybe you come across a lead that has a spouse, or maybe a lead has a secondary email. You can also include that in here. And then you can also include open houses. If you do include open houses, it will send them the open houses with the criteria that you set right above. Then you can save and send, which will be queued up to send today, or save and do not send, and we will queue it up to send tomorrow. Now, once you're done creating that search alert, let's go ahead and see if you have a campaign running. You can see that he doesn't have a campaign running, so you would open up the Campaigns tab and click Add Campaign. So we do have default campaigns that is found in your library, so we'll be going over those campaigns when we jump into the Marketing Autopilot tab. Once you choose your campaign and you set them up in an alert and campaigns, then you can go ahead and mark it as done once completed. Now let's jump into the Calendar tab. Now the calendar tab will relays over to your Gmail, so your Microsoft or Gmail account. Now once you've synced it up, make sure to toggle on your calendar. This is one of the items that you need to complete before our next training. The only thing I want you to do is just sync up your calendar here so you can view your calendar in one window. You do have the ability to sync up your own contacts in there as well. But when you do sync it up, we will be importing them as a specific status. Each status has a unique campaign tied to it. So if you haven't reviewed our campaigns just yet, make sure you reviewed them before integrating. And then we'll go over the My Business tab, which is found here. Now, under the My Business tab, you'll have the ability to
Jenny,
see your home pipeline. Yes?
I do have a question. Is it possible to add another type of category, like how there's archive, what is it, closed, prospect, new lead, contract? Is there a way to add another category?
No, you cannot add your own custom status, but you do have the ability to group them up in a hashtag. So that's a category that you can create yourself. That way you can search for those leads under that unique hashtag.
Got it. So,
Yeah.
for example, if I also want to have agents in my CRM, and obviously I don't want any smart campaigns going to them, what category can I place somebody like that into?
Well, I know that when you import your leads, you can import them as a buyer, seller, or renter. You can also import them as an agent or a vendor. So when you import them, make sure you identify them as a lead type, as an agent. If our system adds them into the system as an agent, there's no campaigns for actual agents, so you don't have to worry about that. So even if you mark them as a sphere agent or a prospect agent, no campaigns will run unless you mark them as a sphere buyer or a sphere seller. You know what I mean?
Okay, that
So
makes sense.
yeah.
And then one thing that I wanted to see if you could go over is the whole bulk importing, because I know we had some
Oh.
trouble on that
Mhm.
before the end of the call. That's just one of the only things I really want you to go over.
Yeah, of course. So when
Great.
we jump into the lead engine tab, we'll go over the bulk import tool as well.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so back under My Business, this is where you're going to see your pipeline. Now, when we have our marketing training, we will be going over some best practices on what you could do with this pipeline. Right below that will be your company video. This is where your admins are going to add any videos for you to have access to. It could be a training like mine today, or Jerry can just forward you this recording. Another video could be maybe you guys attended a conference, or maybe you had like a company event, someone was recording it, and you can upload it in here. Now this is just for internal use, so no one has access to it other than you guys. Company Cloud, I went over it earlier. I added my resource links in here. Your admins will be uploading any important links and documents for you guys to have access to. So after today's call, make sure you check out my resource links and start implementing them. And then the blog section over here, this is just for internal use. This blog does not showcase on anyone's site. So this blog will be like an RSS feed, maybe within the company or within the MLS to keep you guys up to date. And then in the What's New tab, this is where we let you know of any new releases and updates regarding KVCORE. So the most recent releases that just came out were all submitted by other users, other agents. So if you come across something that would make your life easier, maybe making it beneficial for how you run your business, share that feedback to us. Now you can share that feedback using this chat bubble, and you can hit share feedback here. So if we do implement new requests, we will notify you through this chat bubble. We'll notify everyone else once the feature has been released through the What's New tab here. Now, before I jump into the CRM, let me jump into your profile. So I'm going to jump into Jerry's really quick. So I'm going to click under My Profile. And your profile is going to be one of the items that you need to complete before our next training. So when I click Edit, make sure you have the following completed: your agent MLS ID, This is so we can, showcase your listings on your site. Right below is going to be your agent website. A lot of the emails and text messages have your we're going to be pulling your website. So if you don't have a website added in here, when we send those messages, for example, we'll say, "Hi, Sally, thank you for checking out," and then we're going to put in your website. If you don't have anything in there, there will be no site there, so it will look like an incomplete message. So just make sure it's going to be your agent subdomain. So it's going to be your first name.realtorofla.com. And then for MLS compliance, add in your license number. And then right below that, add in your email signature. Jerry's already has all of his completed, so perfect. Jerry, you're all set here. So again, just make sure that your profile is set up. Now, if you just want to change your password, for instance, you can go to Actions, and you can change your password. If you change your password, just remember that your password has to be a minimum of 8 characters with at least 1 number. Okay, so now let me jump into your Smart CRM. So everyone will be able to access their leads, so they can see all of their leads in their system. So you can mass email and mass text your leads. Under More Actions, there we go. You also have the ability to create tasks for yourselves to complete. Now, yes, our system will generate a task for you to complete, but agents use this tool to set reminders. You can even add a hashtag. Hashtags is a great way to group up and organize your leads. So Jerry, this is what I was referring to. So, if you want to, create hashtag like hashtag agent, you have the ability to do that, or maybe, hashtag, and it could be like an area, or maybe hashtag Facebook lead. That way, you do have the option to search for those leads using that hashtag in here, or using the hashtag in here. So you may have used tags or hashtags with other CRMs. It is a way to organize your leads. So when we have our marketing training, I'll show you guys some best practices with this tool. Now, changing a status. You have the ability to mass change a status all in one. You can also transfer a contact. So let's say, you no longer want to work with Sally Jones. Sally, you're going to be giving that lead over to somebody else in your office. So you can transfer that contact, or you can share that contact. So again, you have the ability to only see your leads, but agents can share leads with you. So if they share their leads with you, you can also see their leads in your CRM. So if you share a contact, you are still the primary. The secondary agent will just have access to it. Now, archiving. So you all have lead exclusivity. So that means once the lead exists in your system, no one else can add that lead. So if a lead reaches out to you and says, "I don't want to receive any more messages, I'm not ready to buy or sell a home," you can unsubscribe them. They do have the ability to unsubscribe, but you can do it for them if they reach out to you. Now, if you archive them, that means no more messages will be sent out to this lead, and they're considered inactive. But all history, all data, all engagements are still stored. And because they're still stored in the system, no one else can add that lead in the system. Versus deleting a contact. Deleting a contact means they've been removed from the system, and because they no longer exist, anyone in your office can re-add that lead. Now, if you do delete a lead, we cannot retrieve your leads back. And so, for example, maybe let's say you check all, you go to Actions, and you click Delete. And then you hit Proceed. If I hit Proceed, I'll notice that these leads are still here. So there is a safety net. In order for you to completely delete your leads, you need to go to More Actions, select Delete, and then you need to check this box right above before you hit Proceed. Now, Jerry, I will not hit Proceed, so we'll close this out. That is how you can confirm that you want to delete your leads. Also, you can even mass assign a lender, mass assign a campaign, and export contacts that you've generated. So any leads that you've generated that are still assigned to you, you have the ability to export those leads from the system. So even if you bulk imported them, maybe you did like a marketing ad, whether it's paid or free, and you generated leads through that, you have the option to export those leads out. Now let's go over to this filter tool. You'll notice Jerry has these filters or these tabs here. I'll show you what those do. Now with this filter tool here, you can filter out by lead statuses. You can also filter out by the assigned agent or lender. Now again, you only see your leads, but if agents are sharing leads with you, maybe you only want to see their leads or maybe just your leads, so you'll type out your name. Under lead details, you can also search by their type. So buyer, sellers, renters. Jerry, like I mentioned, if you mark or if you upload your lead as an agent, this will not trigger a campaign, as well as a vendor. You can also search by leads by their hashtags. And then you can also search by leads by where we captured them, let's say through a Facebook ad or through, organic, or maybe through your direct site. You could see where we captured them. Under behaviors, you can also see the lead's most recent activity. You can also see what, if leads have alerts set up, if they don't have a running campaign. It is recommended that all leads have an alert and campaign running at all times, so that way we can nurture them, so you have more time prospecting. And then if I scroll down, you can also see the lead's recent activity or maybe the last time you reached out. And then, of course, you can search for leads by their property interest. Now, as a best practice, and it is listed on your agent success plan, you should have 3 filters created in your account. I'm going to show you what those 3 filters are. Make sure you have those completed before our marketing training. So the first filter we're going to create is your leads. So Jerry already has one, so I'll create another one, but I'll make it slightly different. So under assign users, type out your name. So I'm going to type out Jerry. Now I'm going to be searching for all leads assigned to Jerry. Now I'm going to save this filter. I'm going to say my leads. Okay, and I just added a 1 because he already has one. Now once I save this filter, now I'm just going to, once that filter has been created, I'm going to clear that out, and I'm going to create a second one. So I'm going to be pulling up your leads without a campaign. So I'm going to type out Jerry's name again. Okay, and then under behavior, I'm going to toggle on no alerts. Now I'm searching for all of Jerry's leads with no alerts. So I'll say my leads without alerts. Okay, let me save that for you. Okay, once I save that, I'm going to clear it. I'm going to do one more. I'm going to be doing Jerry's leads without campaigns. So I'm going to type out Jerry. And under behavior, I'm going to toggle on no campaigns. And then I'm going to save it. I'll say my leads without campaigns. And save. Now that I saved my 3 filters, I'm going to clear this out last time. And now I'm going to jump back to this filter tool. And you can access those filters from the Save Filter dropdown. You can see my leads, John's leads, okay, all of the ones that he's created. Then you'll see the ones that I created right below. My leads, number 1, my leads without alerts, and my leads without campaigns. Now on the right-hand side of this dropdown, you'll see a gear icon. This is where you can manage them. You can rename them, you can make them quick links on your smart CRM, and you can even delete them. So let me just toggle these off really quick and show you what these do here. Now, once I save these filters on your account and you toggle those on, you'll notice that the filters I created now appear as a quick link on your CRM. So make sure you have these here on your account. Let me show you what you could do with the My Leads filter. So let's just say you have 1,000 plus leads. You have the ability to mass email up to 100 contacts at a time, but it's only 100 at a time. You have over 1,000. So what we have is we have a tool found under the Marketing Autopilot where you have the ability to send it out to leads to potentially more than 100 contacts. So when you open this up, you're going to schedule that email. And in here, let me wait for that to load up. In here, you can choose who's going to receive this email. You can select a filter, you can select a hashtag, and you can select a status. Now with the filter, you can choose My Leads. That way, all leads that are assigned to you will now be receiving this email. This is more time efficient, especially if you have over 100 leads and you want to send it to all of your leads, letting them know about your new site versus having to send 100 at a time. So you're going to enter in the content of your message, and then you can schedule it. This tool is also perfect for, if you want to do, like holiday emails, or maybe you want to send out happy birthdays or happy anniversaries. I've also seen agents that have newsletters. So if you also have newsletters, you can, schedule those newsletters to be sent out to your leads as well. And let me jump back to the CRM and show you what you could do with your leads without alerts. So again, alerts are listing email alerts. So before, agents would have to go into each lead's profile and update them one by one. If you had, over 50, it would take you a while to complete them. So we created a tool found under the Marketing Autopilot tab with this Search Alerts tool right here. You have the ability to create a search alert for those leads by applying a unique hashtag. So when you create that alert, you're going to create a unique hashtag tied to this specific alert, and then all you need to do is enter an area and a price range. Everything else is optional. So as again, making a search alert manually for one lead at a time. It's the same settings here. Now, once you add the alert in the system, you can jump back into your Smart CRM, click on the check all box. As a pro tip, change it to 100 so you can update 100 at a time. And when you click under more actions, add that hashtag. Once you apply that unique hashtag, hit update tags, everyone from this list will now be queued up to receive a listing email alert with the criteria that you just created. So this is where you can mass update your leads that do not have search alerts. And you don't have to know what area that they're searching for. What we want them to do is have you be on top of mind and make sure that they're coming back to your site. So if you do have serious buyers, they will let you know, they'll respond back, letting you know what types of homes that they're searching for. So let's say Joshua, emails Jerry and says, I want a home in a different location with a pool, So you go into his profile, go to the alerts tab, and you can modify his criteria. So that way, the next time we send out an email, it will be with the items that he wanted for his home. So you would change the location and make sure to add pools in there. And then the last filter here, leads without campaigns. You do have the option to mass add a campaign to your leads. Now, just keep in mind that you do change, you check out the statuses and the type. You'll notice that there's a agent here and there's a buyer here. So you definitely don't want to add a new lead buyer campaign to your sphere agent. So what you're going to want to do is go to this filter tool and filter out by those statuses and by the leads type, what they are, buyer, seller, renter. Then once you filter it out, then you can go ahead and mass update that campaign or mass add that campaign. Okay, now let me jump into your listings tab. So this is where you guys have the ability to search for listings by MLS number or by address. And then you can also email and text those listings to your leads. Now, this Boost property is a paid ad. You can choose to run this ad for 1 week up to 5 weeks. I'll go over this more in detail in our marketing training. And then under more actions, you can even email and text listings to leads with a unique hashtag. Now, if you have any pocket listings or you want to showcase sold listings on your site, you just go into the manual tab and then manually add your listings one by one. All manual listings will only appear on your site.
Jenny,
Mhm.
how let's say if I have a listing there, how do I get the link if I want to put it send it via a different platform and it's not so much and I don't have them in my CRM at that specific time? Is that a possibility?
Yes, there is. So let me just jump in here. So if you come across a lead that doesn't exist in your system, but you want to send them the link to that listing, let's just say this one as an example. You click on your listing address, and it will take you to the listing details. So you can either send them this direct link that you see here on the far right, or if you click on it, you can actually just send them this link right here. So either one, that you can send them the short code link, or you can send them the direct link. That way you can
Okay,
send it over to your leads that
perfect.
don't exist in the system.
That's also a form of lead capture because eventually it'll ask them to log in and put their information, correct?
Correct. Yeah. If they are an unregistered lead, we will, capture their. Well, a registration form will pop up.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Okay. So back on the listings tab again, you do have the ability to, send those listings, active listings to your leads. And then manual section, this is where you can manually add a listing that's not active in the board. Now, marketing autopilot. I know I jumped into this tab earlier twice for search alerts and scheduled emails. So I'm only going to be going over these 4 tiles here. Smart campaigns. So for smart campaigns, everyone has a total of 22 campaigns that they can use found in our KVCORE library. Now, out of these 22, we've imported 10 into yours. Now, these are the 10 campaigns that are currently running, except for these 2, Default Close and Sphere. So if you are planning to be using ours, or if you're just curious how our campaigns run, what I want you to do is view each campaign and see what kinds of changes you want done. If you like it as is, perfect. But if you want to make changes to it, we do have an article found in our support portal that will walk you through on how to edit those. Or you can go ahead and reach out to our tech support team using this chat bubble. Now, if you do have questions with campaigns, I do recommend you chatting with our team so you have immediate assistance. But you can also wait till we have our next training, which is scheduled for next Thursday. The next tile that we're going to be going over is the behavioral automation. So behavioral automation relays over to your hot leads. So leads that are exhibiting hot behaviors. So under contact types, you'll notice, let me just turn this on really quick. I'll turn that back off for you. Everyone's default settings is sphere through active lead is all turned on, whereas behaviors is all turned on. Sphere through active lead is turned on, whereas client and archive is turned off. And then below, the behaviors are all turned on. Now let me go through an example of how this works. Let's say an active lead comes onto your site and exhibits one of these behaviors. Let's say they favorited a property. That active lead will receive an email and text. So let's preview that message. So let's preview email right here. So this is how the email will appear. These are merge tags. So this is either going to populate either your contact information, listing information, or the leads information. And then let's also check out that text message. So let's preview that. And this is how the text message will appear. So again, this will be pulling from the lead's profile, and we will be pulling this from your profile. If that active lead responds to that email or text, of course, we'll notify you. The lead, and then that lead will be considered a hot lead, and we're going to start monitoring them. So if you have if you've downloaded the KVCORE app, and you allow push notifications, this will also notify you as well. We'll be going over the mobile app right after this. Now, on the upper right-hand corner is the automation. This only applies to your new leads or prospects. So, new leads or prospects. So if either of these two leads go onto your site and exhibits any of these behaviors, they will receive a notification or email or text. If that prospect or new lead responds to that email and or text, we will move them into an active status. So this is only applied to those two statuses. Now you do have the ability to turn these settings on and off at any time. You don't have to keep them. You'll notice that Jerry had his sphere turned off as well. So if you are going to be importing, let's say your friends and family, you're going to be importing them as a sphere, and you know that your friends or family is going to go onto your site and exhibit these behaviors, if you don't want those messages to be sent out to them, then you can turn this setting off. You can also turn it off on an individual lead basis. You would have to go to the lead's profile and you can turn it off in there as well. So by default, sphere through active lead is on. All of these behaviors are turned on and the automation is turned on. So again, you can turn off these settings, turn them on and off at any time. You can preview these messages. You just cannot modify the messages that get sent out. So let's jump back to the Marketing Autopilot tab and go over the mobile app. So here on the mobile app, you will be able to complete calls and tasks that are assigned for you that day. If you allow push notifications, we'll also notify you of leads activities as well. If a lead texts back to your KVCORE smart number, you can't reply back through your phone. You would either have to go through the desktop version to respond, or you can respond back through the app. This is perfect for anyone on the go as well. Let's say you're out at a showing or you're out grabbing lunch and you got a new lead. You want to make sure that you touch on that lead so you can pull out your app and respond or send them a quick text. And our system will be able to log that activity. So downloading this app is one of the items that you need to complete before our next training. If you do have questions on the app, you can wait till our next training, which is Thursday, or you can reach out to our team using this chat bubble here. And let's go over lead validation. So for lead validation, this is where we're going to be validating the lead's email. So anytime we capture your lead, we will automatically run that validation. The only time we don't run that validation is when you bulk import your leads. So we'll be going over that after this section here. So when we capture your lead, we will first see if that email is a valid email or not. And after that, we see if that email is being used on other social media platforms. So with this AOL email, we were able to verify this was a working email. And with that, we found her name, location, and occupation, all because she uses that email on her LinkedIn profile. So when you do import your leads, make sure you select yes, because we do ask if you want us to run that validation, because there's no reason for you not to. So let me jump into the Lead Engine tab. We're only going to be going over Lead Dropbox and the Bulk Import tool, but let's go over the Bulk Import tool now. So everyone that is going to be importing their leads, you have two options. Once you have your CSV file ready to import, you can either do it yourself. This is for anyone that is comfortable importing their own leads or, reformatting the database. But if you're not comfortable with it, send it on over to our team so you don't have to. You don't need to reformat it. Our team does it for you.
Is there a way for you to tell us if they do it yourself, how to avoid what happened last time, how they assigned it to me as the agent instead of themselves?
No, the only recommendations I would do is that if you plan to do it yourself, make sure you go to our support portal, read some articles that will walk you through it. We have a video right on top. You do have the ability to speak with our lead configuration specialist team that does the import. but they won't really walk you through how to do it. If you do try to ask them that, they will have you submit it to them so they can import it. You can also chat with
So
our team using this chat bubble. So we do recommend you just giving it to us. Because if you give it to us, you tell us what you want us to do with it, and we'll import it the way you with your directions.
okay, so I'll just direct all the agents to let you guys do it so that we don't have any mess ups like we have in the past.
Yes.
Great.
Okay. So I'm going to show you how to submit the form. So let's say you're ready to submit submit it to us. Make sure you read this import request form, check to accept, and then hit next. And then this is where you can submit it. Now, I am logged in as Jerry, so you see Jerry's information here, but it will be yours. Below that, you're going to say that you are an agent. And then below this, right next to that, these leads are going to be most likely your leads. You're not going to be importing leads for anyone else. So make sure you say me. These leads are assigned to me. Now, under lead information, you're going to tell our team where did you get these leads from. The reason why we ask you where you get these leads from is because we want to just make sure, because each CRM will have slightly different data, and we want to make sure we're importing all of that data into the system. Now, if you don't see one on here, just select other. And then we'll try to import all of that data into the system. You're going to choose your file right next to it, and then right below, this is what you're going to do. This is where you're going to tell our team what you want us to do with your leads. So number one, what do you want us to mark your leads as? So this is where you're going to either tell us that your database has a status column, or you want us to import them as one specific status. Make sure that if you do have if you're using your own column, it's only the status that we've listed here. If you have a status that does not exist in this section, let's say, we have one, I think I've seen one that says casually searching as an example. Casually searching is not an option here, so you would have to choose the best one that represents it, which probably will be a prospect. Because you got their information, you're just trying to convert them to a lead. Second question, do you want us to add hashtags? So again, hashtags is a great way to group up and organize your leads. For example, let's say you got these leads from Zillow. I would recommend, yes, adding an additional tag like Zillow. That way you know that these leads came from Zillow. Automation preferences. So this is where we're going to ask you, do you want us to create search alerts? I would recommend saying yes, but we can only create a search alert if we have a price on that database and an area on that database. It has to have both. Question number 2, do you want us to run that lead validation? Please say yes, because there's no reason for you not to. Question number 3, do you want us to add a campaign to your leads? Now, if you haven't reviewed all campaigns, make sure you do it first, because I do want you to make sure that we have campaigns running. If you select no, you have to manually add campaigns to your leads. So that would just cause more work. So after you review those campaigns and you like them, then say yes and choose our default or use your own. And then under additional information, any questions that you have, this is optional. You don't have to type anything out. They will email you confirmation once they've been added, and then you can submit your form.
Jenny, could you also go over how to submit individual or manually add a specific lead after this? Great.
So after you submit that form, if you have another one, you're going to have to go through the same thing again. One file is one form. So let's show you how to add a lead manually. Let's say you got a lead's email and phone number, or just email. So all you need to do is just go to the add contact. You need to enter their name, email, phone number, and then make sure to select yes to permission to call, text, and email. So the only requirements are name, email, and permission. Phone number and everything else is optional. So depending on the type, buyer, seller, renter, and their status, just keep in mind that there are campaigns tied to the type and the status. So if you choose, let's say, active seller, there's an active seller campaign currently on. So once you add that contact, that lead will automatically be placed in that campaign.
What if you only have the cell phone number and the name? Will it also accept it, or you absolutely need an email?
You cannot add a lead until they have an email. That is how we can identify lead exclusivity.
Through
So
the
if you
email.
don't have it, yeah, if you don't have an email, what I always recommend, let's just say the phone number is 181-111-111. Okay, something like that. So let's say you have their number. I would always do their number at kvcore.com. That way you can at least add them. And then once you get their email, then you can actually, you can then start sending them then you can change it. But this is if you want to store them in the system. This is a workaround.
Okay.
Okay, so I know that I went over a lot of information today. So just as a refresher, you do have items that you need to complete before next Thursday's training. You can find those items under company announcements. I will be removing this announcement after today's call. So you're going to see the marketing training information. And then on the next slide, your homework assignments. But this is really easy. All you need to do is complete that core quick start, integrate your Gmail or Outlook, update your profile, review the campaigns found in the Marketing Autopilot tab, and download the app, which is found under the Marketing Autopilot tab. Make sure you import your lead, send it over to our team, and if you have a third-party lead source like a Zillow account or a Realtor.com account, we do have API settings. So if you need help with that, we have support articles that will walk you through it. Or if you just need help, reach out to our team so they can assist you as well. And don't forget, I added resource links for you guys to start using under My Business, a success plan. This is just so it can help you out on your own pace. And then if you are available next Wednesday, we do have another training hosted by Ryan Hartman. So this is hosted at 11 a.m. from 11 to 12.
Okay, perfect.
Does anyone have any questions?
No, I think can you show everyone where is it that they could get their domain that they currently would be assigned to right now? Before you end the call?
Yeah. So everyone, once you log into your account, in order to access your domain, click on your email found on the upper right. So I'm logged in as Jerry. And then once click on your email, it's going to be the second line. So it's going to be your first name, last name, .realtorofla.com.
It'd be the MRECA.
It's going to be the MRCA. Let me check the websites.
Yeah, that's my personal vanity domain.
Oh, okay. So you got your personal domain. Okay, there it is. MRECA. So this is going to be your agent subdomain. So anytime you do market yourself, this is the domain that we will be marketing. When you update your profile, make sure that you have your agent subdomain plugged in. If you want your own domain like Jerry has, you will need to purchase your vanity domain in our marketplace tab. That's a domain that you currently own. It is a fee, which is $10 per month per domain. I'm going to go over that setting on our marketing training.
Got it.
Does anyone else have any questions? Yes?
Actually, no. That's it. I think unless anybody else has any other questions.
Let me just check the chat box.
One question too. Are all the campaigns in English, Jenny?
It is in English. So if you need to change it to Spanish or to a different language, you would have to create your own custom campaigns.
Got it. So I could create custom campaigns for the office, and those all could be shared with the agents in Spanish, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay. Perfect. I think that's it, Jenny.
Okay. Well, thank you guys, everyone. I hope you have a great rest of your Thursday evening, and I hope you have a good weekend. And I'll talk to you next Thursday.
You too.
Bye,
Thank you so
everyone.
much.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.